Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are looking at everything that happened in today's dev diary. Hold on, I know what you're thinking. No, I haven't abducted Yzuei and he's just asleep and you just wanted me to do this video. You can trust me, don't worry. Anyway, it's another week, so let's look at another leak. So the first thing that the devs showed off was a new propeller that has around 800 power, which is kind of on par with the current turbine, which is considerably powerful, so it could be used for some quite cool builds. But anyway, there's not really much to say about this because it is just a propulsion block. But anyway, let's get on to the next block. Finally, the long-awaited flamethrower has come to Trailmakers. This is probably the best block of the entire update. It is something that has been requested by the community so many times I don't even know how to count. It's one of the most awaited blocks, second obviously to the tank tracks, but this is insane. It's going to bring such a new area of PvP to the game. As you can see, the devs are showing it off brilliantly with this awesome tank that they made. Next to be seen is probably my personal favourite of the update, the small tank cannon. And it says smaller than the name, but I think this is going to be game changing for larger tanks. And if you're following the tank lead made by Matt, this is going to be revolutionary. But probably the best things come out of this weapon is the sound. Let me play it for you.
Hasn't been secured, and I'm quite.
That is just amazing, and I'm so excited to play with this. It's going to be incredible. Moving on to the next weapon, which if you have only seen Yzuei's videos, you will know from the previous one. As in his last video, he showed the leak trailer for this block. The one I'm referring to, of course, is the landmine dispenser, which as you can see, Johannes drives over and then explodes. It is going to be an awesome mechanic and will make for some insane videos, and I will find a way to abuse this block and just ruin the game. But anyway, this block is also quite cool because it has an ability to toggle the trigger radius, which if you set it to 0, as Johannes just has, it will only really detonate if you get right on top of it, which is awesome. Alternatively, you can set it to a higher radius and just explode whenever anyone steps foot within whatever 10 yards of it, and it's crazy. But anyway, moving on again to the next thing. Now this is where it starts to get interesting. This is not a build, this is a real Trailmakers block that they're floating in the water. It is called the sea mine, and it will explode, as you can see, whenever anyone is near to it. And it will float in water, which makes it a sea mine. So it's basically like the older brother of the landmine. As you can see here, the block is quite a weird shape, so it might be difficult to incorporate it into some smaller builds, but realistically, are you going to have a massive landmine deploying off a tiny little speedboat? I didn't think so. One additional quick thing, if you look at the map very closely and you've seen the Carrier Reef map before, you'll know that this doesn't look like the normal Carrier Reef. You can see that the actual landing strip is moved north on its own separate island and not covered by massive mountains, which means that when you're building you won't have loads of shade over your build. You'll be able to build freely with lots of sunlight. It's going to be amazing. The next thing to note is another very exciting new weapon. It's called the torpedo, and it will sink into the water from air and float up to the surface and then glide along the surface until it hits something or explodes. It is incredible. I can't believe this is an actual weapon that doesn't require any other stuff. It is just next level. Now here comes a new way to do your tail fins. It is called the retro stabilizer, and it is part of the DLC, so you will have to buy the DLC to have this block, but you won't have to have the DLC to have the modern stabilizer. One of the good things about this block is that you can bind buttons to its positive and negative output, and they can direct you in your direction. It's pretty much just that. Now we're getting to the last few blocks of the DLC, and as you can see, those green blocks on the side of this boat are called the depth charge. When you hold them, they retract in, and when you release them, they shoot out, and depending on how long you held them in for, shows how far they will actually shoot out. They will sink down to the bottom of the ocean until they hit something and then explode. These currently take a much longer time to reload than they will do in the final DLC, but this is all to change soon. This video may be starting to sound a little bit repetitive, but as you can see in this DLC there are loads of little changes and new blocks that will make the game so much different, as well as just general updates to the original blocks. As you can see for this blaster, there is a reimagined muzzle flash design, which I personally love. It's going to make the game so much more neat and tidy. Now, whilst Johannes was trying to see the muzzle flash in a better perspective, he had to overlook the minigun, and as you can see, the minigun has some sort of yellow tint icon to it in the bottom right hand corner, and as he hovers over it, you'll see one of the biggest changes made to this new update. From what we can see in this freeze frame, there are some sort of skins or some sort of different style variation which you can select in different weapons, and there is actually a lot of weapons that we can do this for, which are listed all with that little yellow icon on the bottom right hand side of their box. Anyway, here's a better look at the new muzzle flash coming in the new update. And with that, the stream started to close. But during this talk, there are a few more pieces of information that I'd like to point out. A cool statistic is that 5 out of 1,000 Trailmakers servers use power core limits, and unfortunately we don't have the new multiplayer server selector seen yet, but that will come soon. And finally, the update is due to come mid-June, but we have no other information about when that is going to come out. But that is it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this kind of strange video from me. If you enjoyed it, go find some more videos like this on my channel. You can find my channel linked in the description. Thank you guys very much for watching, and as usual would say, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. It is free, and I'll see you guys in the next one.